Good afternoon. It's Saturday, the August the 8th. I'm trying to catch up on all these jobs. But I thought I'd do a bit of a follow-up on that leaky LT230 and what actually was wrong with it. Anything? Not really. But the gaskets just came off like they were just put on with no sealer. They just laid them on and bolted him up. That was it. So you can see I didn't have to scrape them off. You could use them again, as if. No, we don't use gaskets. Now, what else was the problem? Oh yeah. Remember, this was leaking out of here. None of the bolts had Loctite on them. None of them. Now, I use a blue Loctite here, this 243 thread locker. It's also very good at sealing bolts as well. You know, it seals the threads and it stops the oil migrating through the threads and getting out. Really good stuff. So in that housing, it was somehow getting through this hole here. It was bubbling through. Now, if we sort of look inside somehow, I don't know if you can see. Oh, maybe there. This one here, it's a blind hole, so something's going wrong for it to leak out of there. That was one of the things. The bushing in the intermediate gear, you know, the collapsible sleeve. Well, it's a collapsible sleeve. It wasn't a solid sleeve, so there's chances of that running, you know, banging backwards and forwards. This is it here. I've kept it together with the bearings. The bearings are pretty good, they're all new, we don't have to replace those. The pin looks very nice. Have they put a new one in? No, it's the old pin, but it's very, very good on this shaft. I've noticed here, this is a common problem, that I just buff that sharp edge off there. You know, just sand it down a little bit because that tends to cut through the O-rings. Shaft's beautiful. It's got a new O-ring on and you can feel it's pronounced. But so again, it's one of those things, while we're here, we're going to machine out the casing and put a solid bush in. Job done. Anything else? No, not really. I mean, they did a pretty good job. I'm not going to strip everything down. The centre diff feels nice. Yeah, so that just needs bushing out and we're going to do that at JP's shop tomorrow. But stick around because I've got some really good things to show you with me shafts. You're going to like this. Not a lot, but you're going to like it. One of the jobs was on this R380 that was attached to that LT230 down there. They wanted me to put V8 gears in, the 5-speed gears. Not a big deal, not a problem. Until I got the box off. Well, now let me sort of bend the camera up so I don't have to walk down. What am I talking about? Can you see the shaft? It should look like this. So they've snapped a bolt off in here. Ooh. And they've ground it flush. Ooh. So I can't use my tool to press on the collar here. Alright? So what they must have done is hammered the bloody thing on. That's not good. You have to be progressive and careful with these things. But perhaps you can see here, I think they've had a bit of a trouble trying to get that collar off, and they put a God almighty groove in the shaft. Now at first I thought to myself, well, I'm going to have to strip that shaft down, lay it up to JP's and get him to machine that out and see if we can get it out somehow. Bolts like that don't snap flush anyway. They're snapped off for a reason. So maybe it's bottomed out and they've over tightened it, and it's not going to really come out very well. So they've had a bit of fun with that. This is Eric's LT77. We had a bit of a problem with this synchro hub. It wouldn't sort of go into fourth gear. And one of the things I found out, I'll do another video on this later, how we worked this out. This spacer was missing when I stripped it down. So consequently, I didn't see there was one there. When you put the bearing on like this, you know, put it on the top, you couldn't get into fourth gear at all. And I think that's one of the problems they had with this box originally. They missed the bearing out, and they were trying to grind it into gear and it wouldn't go in because it was everything was too tight. Anyway, we sorted that one out. That was easy. I could have bought a washer. You know, I could have actually gone out and bought a washer, but DHL would have taken a week to get here, plus time, you know, like messing about. So we thought we'd just make one, and we worked out the measurements, and you'll see that in another video. But I tested this for pressure. I tested it for selection. Everything was hunky-dory. I thought, great. So it's here on the test bench. We've had it running this morning. Had it running for 2 hours while I was messing about with that box over there. And it leaks. How the hell can it leak? It's open to atmosphere. So how can it leak? Well, here's something I've never seen before. Let me move the camera. Right, keep your eye on the gauge here as I turn this. The shaft's got a bend in it. Now, I didn't see that when I was putting it back together because it's only about 10,000th of an inch, you wouldn't see it. But once it was running, it was going all elliptical, like that. Was it like that? I don't know. And of course, oil is splashing around in there, which is a good thing. But because the shaft's moving in the seal, it's leaking. So what's it caused it to bend? I have no idea. I've never seen that before. But these LT77s have got a bearing here. They've got a bearing in the middle, which joins the two shafts together. So you've got the main shaft coming here, and then there's a bearing, and then it goes to your input shaft here. And then there's a bearing here. So you've got 1, 2, 3 bearings. Now I shimmed this back up to factory specs, and the input shaft was perfect, and the output shaft, there was no play on it whatsoever. If you don't get the shimming right, you can usually tell that the input shaft will wriggle around a bit. But I never thought it would leak. I've never seen one leak in 30 years out the back like that. What am I going to do? I don't know. Can we fix it? I don't know. But it's going to cause problems. Now, what I was getting to here is this. We've just seen an R380, and they put bearings in the back. In the back of here, there's nothing. So what's caused this? I don't know. But let's have a look and see it running. Don't worry about the clicky clacky sound, it's my input side that's doing it. There you go. And you can observe it now that the shaft isn't quite straight by looking at the thread end. You know, look at this here. It just doesn't look right, does it? And oil was dribbling down the back of here. The oil was dribbling down the back of here. So how are we going to correct this? How did that happen? I have no idea. I have seen Land Rovers before where they've been crashed bend those shafts, but they bend them kind of dramatically because the axle hits something and then all that shock goes through the transfer case, and usually it breaks off these lugs here and bends the shafts and all sorts of stuff. But this is a nice casing, but again it's been rebuilt, so did they not pick up on that? They just rebuilt it and threw it back in. After all, they missed they missed this washer off. Did they just build it up and threw it in the auction just to get rid of it? I don't know. Never get a bargain in an auction, do you? So really, as far as I can see, the only way is now is to strip it all back down again, just when I thought it was all finished. You see, the thing is, these things bloody take time, don't they? You know, I was saying to Jeff the other day, I ain't got time to mess about with that. Now we've got this thing and we've got that problem. I've got to strip that gearbox down. Now, well, I've got to find out from the owner what they're going to do with this. I've got to find out what they're going to do with that R380. Whether they want me to just abandon it, I don't know. I've got a 300 TDI there. I'm just waiting for a timing belt to come, and that can go back in my container. Yeah. What a problem, eh? So, that's it. That's my news for this week. We'll just have to suck it and see. Bloody shaft, see.